Qianbai turned his head and glared at her. Next, she proudly boasted about still being a virgin. The foreign girl nervously spoke first. I'm not that kind of person, no one has ever touched me, I can prove it. Qianbai just smiled faintly and said, all right. Jiangcheng University Gymnasium. Because her pants were torn, the foreign girl tied her coat around her waist to cover it. She walked and gasped, complaining, hey, I'm exhausted. I can't go on, why don't we take a break? Qianbai remained calm, closed his eyes, and continued walking, saying decisively, no. She was still trying to tie her coat tightly when Qianbai directly reached out and hugged her waist, saying, we must go. Qianbai suddenly pushed her forward at high speed, causing her coat to fall off. She panicked and shouted, my coat. In the blink of an eye, they had already reached the medical school research building. Just moments ago, she almost lost her coat, but luckily, she hooked it with her foot and brought it along. She retied it. Embarrassed and complaining, hey, you're too much. If I hadn't hooked it with my foot, the coat would have fallen off. At this point, Qianbai, indifferent, looked ahead and asked, is this the research building? The foreign girl glanced at it and answered, yes. Only professors can enter the laboratory on the 3rd floor. It's said to have a lot of samples and virus data. A moment later, she cautiously hid behind Qianbai and continued to chatter, also, the path to the underground is not the garage, but the crematorium. If we're talking about the most mysterious place, this is the one I can think of. Qianbai briefly replied, got it, follow me. They entered the medical laboratory, which had many test tubes filled with different colored liquids. There were also many large, advanced pieces of equipment. This was indeed Jiangcheng University's virus research lab. As soon as they entered the door, something instantly caught Qianbai's attention. He stared at it, excitedly exclaiming, I didn't expect this place to be a treasure trove. The male lead quickly reached out to absorb the virus from the test tubes. Notifications from the system appeared behind him. First time collecting temperature-sensitive type D influenza virus, gained 5 virus points. Collected type B influenza virus, gained 0.3 virus points. Collected type A influenza virus, gained 0.7 virus points. Collected antigen mutant of type A influenza virus, gained 5 virus points. Qianbai excitedly said, so many flu viruses, it's normal, after all, this is a school. Finally, the system sent a comprehensive notification. Enough flu viruses collected to upgrade flu to skill level requires a small number of points. Seeing this, his eyes lit up, and he murmured, upgrade the flu to a skill? Let's give it a try. Immediately, a new system notification appeared, upgrade successful. Below it was the skill analysis. Acquired skill, influenza, can release influenza virus within a certain range to reduce the target's attributes and inflict a sneezing negative status. Activation interrupts all chanting, sprinting, and aiming actions. This skill's effectiveness is influenced by the target's form and race. After obtaining such fresh and practical information, Qianbai showed a joyful expression, thinking to himself, not bad. This sneeze technique is really powerful. He then continued to think deeply, according to the previous talent system, I didn't pay much attention to the viruses that exist in reality. It seems I need to pay more attention to this issue when upgrading in the future. He raised his eyes, looking at the magical talent with hope, excitedly expressing his feelings, the 3S level talent is indeed terrifying. He remembered Lei Duo and then thought, I still have some ground trial points. The Goblin God isn't simple. I should use these points to improve my practical abilities first. Activate the Black Light Virus skill map. After absorbing several virus samples, he continued thinking about the 2 skills unlocked by the Black Light Virus. The upgraded passive skill Flying Wall Glide allows him to firmly attach to any surface with the Black Light Virus. Meanwhile, his sense of balance and direction was significantly improved. The upgraded active skill Focus Battle concentrates his spirit, greatly enhancing his vision and reaction ability, strengthening muscle control in all parts of his body. Chenbai clenched his fists, focused his mind, and his muscles began to move, his arms trembling. His arms gradually approached the wall, and Chenbai wondered, is it the same for all my muscles? Just using force wasn't enough. He pushed a little, and the entire wall cracked into many small pieces. The foreign girl, seeing this, couldn't believe it. She covered her mouth with her hand, fearing Chenbai even more after overthinking the situation. She covered her mouth to avoid making a sound, panicking, thinking, did he cause that vibration just now? Luckily, he didn't use that move, otherwise, my bones would have shattered. Chenbai focused on his own strength, seemingly forgetting everything around him, thinking. So this is how it works. If I can control my muscles, short-range attacks are no problem. Even a hair can exert full force. The girl was indeed a troublesome presence. After completing the task, Chenbai turned and noticed the foreign girl acting strangely. He asked, why are you blushing? She touched her face and awkwardly replied, it's nothing. Chenbai decided to go somewhere else and said, there's nothing I need here. Let's go find something else. Soon, the two arrived at the public teacher storage room underground in the Virus Research Institute. The foreign girl noticed how dim it was and said, Chen, there are no lights here, it's too dark. Just as they were walking, Chenbai suddenly stopped because something appeared. He paused and said, wait a moment, something's here. A room appeared in front of them, with a red room sign at the top. Chenbai joyfully shouted, oh, it's here. The door opened, and the two were about to enter. The room sign only indicated a barbecue room. Chenbai pushed the door open with both hands, worried the girl might be in danger, so he said, you wait here. However, the foreign girl was more afraid to be alone there. She wandered around, looking around, and answered, Chen, I'm scared. Chenbai walked closer to the circle with many flames, surrounded by a circle resembling a spell or formation. A system announcement appeared, indicating, you have entered the Cooling Hell Dungeon, level 5 to 10 required. Chenbai stopped thinking and raised his hand to enter the red circle, calmly saying, accept. Half an hour later, the system announcement appeared, you have entered a special dungeon. After successfully clearing the cooling furnace, it can be converted into permanent. If you don't pass this level within 2 days, the dungeon will disappear permanently. Upon entry, it is a cold area, with a massive furnace in front of Chen Bai, connected to a chimney. Behind it were several hospital beds, with corpses wrapped in cloth. After seeing the tight layout, Chenbai muttered, no wonder I've never heard of this place. Upon sensing the smell of humans, the corpses lying under the white cloth automatically woke up, tearing through the cloth. Chenbai was ready for battle. He summoned the power of the virus and said, come at me. 2 zombies stood up. One jumped high, mutated into a form with many legs and 2 hands, pouncing like a hungry ghost. The corpses on the ground ripped off the cloth, signaling other terrifying monsters to start crawling out. The multi-legged zombie crawled on the ceiling like a spider, completely exposed. On the floor, there was a monster over 2 meters long, crawling like a lizard, approaching Chenbai's feet. Chenbai gritted his teeth, struggling to assess the situation. Chenbai used a powerful strike with his right arm, successfully slicing the crawling zombie in half. The system prompted, defeated the level 5 reborn body teacher, gained 400 experience. Looking up at the multi-legged zombie crawling on the ceiling, it opened its mouth and yawned, releasing a wave of green ghostly energy, its posture extremely eerie. A circular, impressive ghostly energy wave shot from its tiny mouth toward the ceiling. The surrounding wind was as fierce as a storm, and Chen Bai quickly dodged to the side. He looked up at it, thinking, no wonder I couldn't charge at it together. It has this kind of ability. He then used the force to leap and softly said, it's starting a bit slow. Chinbai swung his fist filled with purple ghostly energy from his left hand, charging at the zombie with sharp eyes, coldly saying, "Die." Soaring up, he struck a heavy punch at the zombie, pressing it hard against the ceiling as the zombie howled in pain. A second later, the system interface appeared. Level 7 combined small spider killed, 1,000 experience points gained. Chenbai landed, propped himself up, and glanced at the zombie that had also fallen. Its legs twisted upward, and he thought, as expected of a special dungeon, the experience is indeed high. The commotion woke up the zombies on the bed, and more zombies stood up. Those under the blanket crawled out, while others crawled on the ceiling. The zombies that had burst out from the furnace shattered loudly. The game difficulty, Chenbai liked more. He smiled with excitement and shouted, "Come quickly, the more the better." The result was easy to predict. Two system interfaces appeared, 400 experience points gained and 1,000 experience points gained. Chenbai continuously punched every zombie. The system kept announcing experience points, 1,000, 400, 200, continuing until the last zombie. A minute later, all the zombies fell under Chenbai's attacks, their bodies hitting the ground, dust scattering. The system interface appeared, indicating that after the battle, Chenbai leveled up. The system reminded, "Level up, you have gained 2 free attribute points." From the large furnace in front of Chenbai, knocking sounds and noisy shouting came. Chenbai slowly walked closer and said hollowly, "Your underlings are all dead, why aren't you coming out? Need me to help?" Just as he was about to act, a loud crash came from the furnace, and the furnace door was knocked off. Chenbai looked warily ahead, his eyes filled with doubt. A dirty purple lump of flesh crawled out from the furnace, with eyes and a nose, resembling a strange insect. Chenbai was also surprised and thought, "How is this possible? Why does this lump of flesh feel so dangerous? Should I kill it before it transforms?" He observed cautiously. The creature quickly grew legs and crawled out of the door, moving exceptionally fast. Chenbai activated his ghostly energy professional skills and charged at it, ready to stab into its body, but the creature quickly formed a strong arm and easily blocked him. It released a puff of purple virus mist, which was an evolved flu virus. The virus mist quickly spread around the creature's mouth. The lump of flesh almost mutated, growing limbs, preparing to stand. The system displayed, target skill ineffective. The lump of flesh became even larger, and it swung its arm with force, only a hot red light visible. Its attack sent Chenbai flying, dust rising. Hit hard into the ground, Chenbai endured the pain from the debris, frowned, and couldn't help but click his tongue. Seems like this is a tough problem for our protagonist. The creature had now successfully evolved into a huge, strong body with a head resembling a fly's head, surrounded by a scorching aura. It was referred to as a biological monster. Without hesitation, the biological monster charged at Chenbai, opening its mouth to emit a long, shrill scream. Chenbai quickly reacted, jumping high to dodge the attack, then got closer to the monster, launching a dual-wave attack that destroyed the surrounding environment. After landing a blow to the biological monster's head, Chenbai successfully rolled away. He repositioned behind the monster, moving steadily with his ankles firmly on the ground, facing this tough opponent. Chenbai looked up, showing an excited expression, saying, "Since my rebirth, nothing has made me go all out. In a few days, my hands will start to rust." While focusing, he murmured, determined to conquer it. "Looks like I'll have to use you to activate it." A minute later, the battle became more intense, and the monster still had enough power to keep fighting. Chenbai kicked its shoulder hard, and the monster quickly healed itself. No matter how he attacked, it seemed ineffective. And Chenbai looked exhausted. He stared at the biological monster, thinking, interesting, infinite rebirth? At this point, he took out his treasure, the hourglass that kept rotating, emitting a green light, a state known as the exclusive state. After landing, Chinbai stomped the ground heavily and coldly said, "I want to see if you really can't die." A minute later, with the help of the hourglass, the biological monster was already exhausted, its outer skin beginning to peel off in large chunks, and it trembled. Chinbai happily asked, "Why so slow? Could it be that it can't recover anymore?" After another hour, the biological monster was squirming and trembling weakly on the ground. Chinbai walked around and said, "Hurry up, I'm not done yet." After another hour, it had turned back into a mass of meat, but this mass was smaller than when it first appeared. Only then did Chinbai decide to stop, saying, it should be unable to recover now. Then, with a very casual tone, he insulted the monster, saying, "This feels great, it's almost over." He decisively stepped on it, crushing it into pieces, splattering everywhere like a puddle of mud on the ground. The system panel appeared, level 8 biological monster boss killed, gained 10,000 experience points, level up, current. Level 5. You gained 2 free attribute points. Hearing this new message, Chinbai was stunned, surprised at how quickly he leveled up. Then, the system continued to pop up new announcements, successfully completed, you can leave the dungeon at any time. The cooling furnace dungeon has become a permanent dungeon, with a refresh time of 3 days. Do you want to upload the completion video as a paid guide? All earnings will go to the uploader. You can choose to upload anonymously and set your own viewing price. After a series of system announcements, Chinbai carefully checked and then chose to upload anonymously. East Mountain Villa area, Song Ziqiang's villa. Su Xin was taking care of Song Ziqiang, sitting on a small chair by the bed. Song Ziqiang seemed to see something. Immediately struggling to sit up, her lips trembling slightly, Su Xin glanced curiously at her. A new announcement popped up in the chat group. Announcement, Evolutionist Bai has uploaded the Cooling Furnace Nightmare level dungeon completion video. Levels 5 to 10 can watch it, priced at 1 copper coin. A video of Chinbai battling the biological monster was attached below. 2 young girls squeezed closer to the screen, trying to see clearly, and said in unison, "Quick, take a look." At this moment, the other members of Chatroom 001 also received the video. Everyone had different reactions after watching it, but overall, their goals were the same. Bone's eyes were glued to the screen, and after watching the video, he couldn't help but exclaim, "It's too fast, I need to slow down the playback speed to see it clearly." Brother Bai is amazing. A black-haired male professional in the group shouted excitedly, "Brother Bai is so powerful." A tall and muscular man repeatedly exclaimed in shock, "Impossible. That monster's recovery ability is far stronger than Brother Bai's. For Brother Bai to fight like that is a bit too risky, isn't it?" A pink-haired lowly, after watching the video, praised with admiration, "Emperor Bai has fully recovered." The chat group was filled with enthusiastic discussions about the video. Back in the cooling furnace dungeon where Chinbai was, he was absorbing the virus, and the room was empty except for him. The system panel appeared, special composite organism devoured, gained 300 black light virus exclusive evolution points. Reaching out to absorb the magic virus, Chinbai's body shuddered slightly as he muttered to himself, "The exclusive evolution points of the black light virus are different from the talent evolution points, they can only be used to enhance the abilities and skills of the black light virus." Then, he gathered his spirits and said, "But this is still good." The system announcement popped up, Black Light Virus has evolved, life recovery speed increased by 300%. Then a new announcement. Reminded, activated passive ability of the Black Light Virus, obtained A-grade biological monster cell rebirth skill. The system explained in detail, cell rebirth, A-grade passive, consumes a certain amount of stamina or excess energy to restore as quickly as possible. Can regenerate lost limbs. This passive skill can be turned on or off. The skill has a huge advantage. Chenbai clenched his fists and excitedly exclaimed,